It's finally happening, and I am so stoked to play Big Rigs over-the-road racing. I do love me a good driving simulator. Yeah, we're on the freeway. Right, so look, get a move on. Look, hang on, guys. No, it's fine. Guys, it's not fine. What? Air resistance! Where's my hazards? So relaxing. Big Rigs was published in 2003 for Windows Microsoft only. It was supposedly developed by a company called Stella Stone in around 2000, and it was published by Game Mill. Now, if you're wondering why you've probably never heard of either of those two companies, it's because nobody cares. But I'm telling you right now, that box art sells it to me immediately. I'd go and buy a full desktop setup absolutely immediately. I've got to play Big Rigs, look at this! There's some trucker being driven off the road by a copper, and both of the vehicles are catching air here. The truck also appears to be on fire, which actually that might be the reason that the police are trying to get it to stop. I don't know how it is over in the USA, but in England, if your truck is on fire, you're supposed to pull over and, maybe deal with that. And apparently your insurance won't cover you if you set fire to the car yourself. Or so they told me. You don't ever really see these meaty bastards in the UK. We mostly only seem to get those kind of trucks that look a little bit like the face of a pug, I read that that's because in Europe there's a truck and trailer length limit that doesn't apply in America. So there we go. It's a nice little tidbit for you there. You have no idea how many useless facts I accumulate by writing these scripts. I'm basically an encyclopedia of just total arse. Quick look at the blurb on the back of the box, and we are promised a lot of mother trucking goodness. We're gonna be racing to deliver some cargo while being chased by the police. The police are apparently gonna be on the lookout for a massive flaming truck, which would kind of make it stand out a little bit, to be fair. But that is a good premise. That could make an awesome racing game. But you know how the development group is credited as being Stella Stone? Stella Stone apparently outsourced most, if not all, of the development of this game to a company in Russia. Actually, Stella Stone were really open about the whole outsourcing thing on their website. Like, they actually had that as a selling point. And they didn't even skirt around the fact that it's not like they had a whole list of really cool, awesome companies to outsource to. They just said that they had the one. I couldn't find out if they actually got any jobs from this, outside of their own company. And even though this was like the early to mid 2000s when everyone was kind of mental, I'd be very surprised if any company saw Big Rigs and thought, oh wow, you know what, let's pay a company to make the shittiest game ever. Most, or maybe all, of the games that Stella Stone went ahead and slapped onto market used a game engine that was made by this dude. Here he is credited in Big Rigs. I'm not going to try and pronounce his name. Don't need to embarrass myself any more than I already have. Check out these screenshots on the back of Big Buck Trophy Hunt. These are the saddest deer that I've ever seen. I'll shoot them just to put them out of their misery. It's the kind of thing to do. Also, why did they have to credit the person that took the screenshots for the back of their game that they published? What is going on? Anyway, this game engine was licensed for use by Stella Stone in exchange for company shares, which I'm sure was very friggin' useful. Sarcasm. And probably more usefully, a big chunk of cash, which is hilarious considering how bobbins pretty much all of these games are. Stella Stone wanted to make themselves a big rig racing game while exerting as little money and effort as possible. I'm kind of impressed. I'm jealous. Oh, look at that title screen. That is distilled. Totally doesn't look like a GCSE design student would have made in a really big hurry, about 5 minutes before the deadline. Wow, a choice of 4 trucks. Helpfully though, there's absolutely zero differences between any of them. So you don't really have to think about it too hard, just pick whichever one. Who cares? Whoa, look at that peak 2000s short-sleeved men's shirt design. We're going to Flavortown. Oh. Okay, alright, Flavortown is not as exciting as I thought it would be. Okay, even though the computer player has a trailer, there's no cargo for me, so that's one thing the box got wrong. Doesn't seem to be any police around either. Hello, fellow traveller. Are we gonna race? Hello? Hi? You okay in there? Buddy? Okay, I think the driver of this truck might have passed out with the engine running. I hope that doesn't mean he's committing suicide in there. Should I intervene? Nah, I can't be bothered. This is supposed to be a racing game, right? Well, I suppose it does still technically count as a race as long as the other player makes it to the start line, even if they then inhale a fatal dose of carbon monoxide. I'm a truck! No collision detection. Just smash right through whatever it is that's in your way. Nothing stops you. What is going on with the disco floor here? Was there a party? Why wasn't I invited? Don't answer that, I already know. Alright, here's the pub. Everyone get out, let's get pissed. Whee! I'm a truck! Wow, look at the road. It is really struggling. I was trying very, very hard, but it's struggling. What are you even trying to do there, sweetheart? What are you trying to do? Let's see if changing the graphics settings helps. Well, that made no difference at all. Doesn't bode too well for the game if even the tarmac doesn't want to be here. This unpatched version of the game doesn't have any sound at all. I thought that might be because I kind of totally got this from an abandonware website, not the actual game disc. But it seems that it was actually released like this. We will get some sound in a bit after I install the patch. But let's keep on with this raw edition, because we need the authentic big rigs experience right now. 0 speed penalty for off-roading. Those tyres must be damn expensive to be able to manage that. And no penalty for the inclines? I want a car like this. Imagine being able to just bundle over a field or up a mountain without any loss of speed. You'd be able to get to work so fast. Alright, I'm just gonna bomb over this hill here and see if we can get some air. Whoa, talk about grip. These tyres are holding onto the ground so tightly they're like Elon Musk and his tax dollars. And there is no way that Tesla can make a truck that drives as smoothly as this. Screw your autopilot, my suspension is more supple than a cat's tail. Oh, wait, there's a sheer cliff face here. Guess we're just gonna have to turn around, guys. Unless... We've made it back round to the finish line and the computer player is still waiting for me to go, so yeah, I'm pretty sure the driver's dead. The legendary finish screen. It's more beautiful than I imagined. Your winner? It's a trophy with 3 handles. Why does that trophy have 3 handles? I'm not an octopus. Hey, Mr. Squishers, I won a trophy for you. Oh yeah, of course, the medication. It makes the plushies stop talking to me.
Shut the f*** up, I'm trying to sleep.
Not the rats though, they're still quite vocal.
For f***'s sake.
Wow, that first level was so successful at the box office that it got a sequel. Whee! Up a cliff. Imagine if you were just driving along the motorway and you saw a truck go vertically up the side of a bridge. That'd be amazing! That would be the best morning commute of your life. Let's smash through the pub again. Yeah, it's happy hour, lads. The special is a truck through your goddamn skull. The closest thing I've experienced to a truck smashing into my skull was that time they were doing 2 for 1 on flavoured vodka shots at Wetherspoons. And a truck came smashing through the bar area. Look at this! I am parked on a near vertical cliff face. This truck is the long haul equivalent of a mountain goat. Alright, let's go see what's going on outside of the boundaries of the level. Ooh, grey nothingness. Oh, I'm getting a real sense of tranquility. Nothing but open grey sky, pure oblivion. The brakes on this thing when you're reversing are insane. Reverse at 40 mph and you'll still stop dead still the second you take your foot off the pedal. Your brain would fly out of your skull, which is probably what happened to whoever greenlit this game for release. There's a crashed, burned out helicopter here. Do I check for survivors? No, I can't be asked. Forgotten Road 1. There's no sequel, but I guess it's still technically the first one, so... Whoa! Oh my god! It's beautiful. Now that is an absolutely distilled lamppost. I didn't even know that local councils were making them in anodized titanium. This oil slick effect is looking clutch on this high street. That is some tax dollars well spent. Ah, sadly the council didn't have the budget to make the rest of the lampposts in anodized titanium. That's literally the only one in the entire game that looks like that. Obviously some kind of mistake with the texture mapping, but it really is funny something so glaringly obvious got overlooked. I mean, you can see that thing from space.
You know what? I'm starting to think that this game wasn't playtested at all. Because any playtester would have seen that lamppost and absolutely demanded that every other texture in the game was made to look like that too.
Is this supposed to be water? Oh, he's trying so hard. Both Forgotten Road and the final level here have this really weird frame rate issue when I played it, with maybe more than one other program open. Like, the game is really not happy about being made to render a bunch of stuff, a small bunch of stuff. It was making me feel a bit sick to play, actually. Weirdly, that last level is the only one where you do get some cargo, although your rear lights shine through the whole thing like two eye holes of radium.
That fourth level, Night Ride, doesn't work at all. Just completely crashes the game, boots you out. Because screw you! Aren't you already satisfied enough with those other 4 levels of absolutely pure distilled gameplay? Lampposts that look like that, and physics that forgot to exist? My god, you're spoiled.
But don't worry, because Stella Stone took a leaf out of the future 2020's book of game companies and released a patch to fix stuff that should have already been sorted when the game was released. Bit of a dig at modern gaming there. Yeah, it was so subtle you nearly missed it.
So let's take a look at the game with the patch installed.
You would have had to get it from their website originally. But first, let's fill out your computer's spec. Your computer's favourite type of soup, its national insurance number. Come on, Stella Stone, you released big rigs. There is no way you guys know what any of this stuff even means. Problem description. Absolutely everything. Alright, I've installed the patch, let's go. The first big difference is that this one is actually going to have some sound.
Wow, it's like my ears are being kissed by cherubs.
There is actually someone credited as the sound designer in both versions, but apparently their only contribution to the final piece was the whirring of the office coffee machine. There is a sound file for a crash in the patched version, but it's never used, because it's physically impossible to crash still, since apparently you're taking the role of the ghost of Large Marge. There's a sound for a handbrake too, but I don't think there's even a button to use that. Also, that sound file says that it's copyrighted by Virgin Interactive 1998, which is, not interesting, but...
There's also a general ambience track that wasn't ever used. Let's have a quick listen. Oh guys, you were missing out.
Another big change is that our fellow trucker here woke up from the carbon monoxide poisoning just long enough to turn on the world's most rigid autopilot. There is not a trucker on this planet who keeps to his side of the road that consistently. Even if you couldn't cheat by taking shortcuts over rough terrain that doesn't even slightly slow you down, the speed restrictor is well and truly in place for this guy, which begs the question, why the hell is he even entering a race that was supposed to be part of fleeing from police cars? I don't know if it's because he feels sorry for you playing this damn game, but when he gets to the end of the race, he just slams on that brake.
No, I insist. No, after you. After you. After you. Go.
Oh wait, I forgot this is a game set in America and not England. Get out of the gosh darn way, you old mother kissers! Let's play this level. Nope. Okay, doesn't work. Oh, the road forgot to exist. Oh, it came back. I feel like I'm playing Witcher 3, but with trucks. And no one to have sex with. That is unless you count Mr. Carbon Monoxide Poisoning, but I don't think he'll be up for it. Look at how much CPU and power this bastard is using. More than the program that I'm using to edit this video.
Take all the CPU you need. Take all of it. All I ever need from now on is big rigs over the road racing.
Also, I'm still getting this really weird frame rate problem on some of the levels. It doesn't matter what Windows version I try and open the game in. I'm sure it could be fixed with some troubleshooting, but I'm not about to get my arse over onto Stack Overflow and ask, how do I get frigging big rigs over the road racing working properly? Because working properly in the context of big rigs isn't really a viable phrase.
What other game of this era allowed you so much freedom? This is the original Sandbox racing game.
Physics? F*** you. Laws of solids passing through solids? F*** you. Gravity? Fuck it.
We are playing big bastarding rigs. None of that matters.
I would be very angry if I paid money for this game, but I didn't pay anything for this game. And I'm delighted by the experience of playing a game that is so broken, so bad, so completely redundant. This game is essentially my mental health brought into physical form. And the fact it was actually shipped in this clearly unfinished state and then sold, it delights me. I love wastes of time and money. It's why I love cats so much.
Alright, you knew this was coming. The reversing in this game is on another level. Buckle up, lads. Let's see what warp speed feels like. Alright, can anyone tell me how to put my stomach back where it's supposed to be? Tea cake, that's my spleen, give that back.
F off. If trucks aren't really your thing, well don't worry. You can experience all the physics-bending joy of big rigs by playing Stella Stone's other game, Midnight Race Club. Bikes, cars and trucks. We are spoiled for choice here. And they are totally not even trying to trick people into thinking that they're buying the Rockstar series of Midnight Club street racing games. No, not at all. How dare you even suggest that? Respect on the bad streets comes at a price. Are you willing to pay it?
Oh, I can afford the price for the bad streets, mate. I've got coupons. Big bastarding coupons. Just make sure you give me a receipt for my accounts.
It's the exact same levels from Big Rigs. Distilled. The tail lights on the cars stop about 3 feet behind the car itself. This is excellent. It's like the ghost of the Big Rigs trucks following at every turn. Ah! Collision detection? Well, where the bloody hell did that come from? It not being there in Big Rigs was part of what made that game so fun. Plus, the ending trophy says you win rather than you're winner. So that's another little slice of delight that they cut out. Let's get on a motorbike. Are you supposed to ride a motorbike like you're paralysed from a squat session? Also those rear lights. How hard would it have been to remove them from the model? Well, at least my dude here can still defy the laws of physics with that reverse button. Whee! Midnight Race Club is still kind of fun to play because of how bad it is, but not for nearly as long as Big Rigs is. Also, once again, there is zero challenge from the other player. It's not really a game, it's just something to point and laugh at. You know, like me.
So it would appear that Big Rigs Over the Road Racing was originally part of the game Midnight Drive Club, but for whatever reason Stella Stone really wanted to have something on the shelves and they separated out the truck driving part of the game into its own thing. This theory is supported by the fact that Midnight Race Club has a vehicle select screen that looks a lot like there's supposed to be 4 selections there. You know, where the truck selection was going to be? Sheer laziness. Again, I admire it. And Midnight Race Club was released a little while after Big Rigs, so the Russian dev team had a little bit more time to iron out the problems. And when I say a little bit more time, I'd say about, I don't know, maybe about another half hour they used to add the collision detection.
Here's a final point just to really drive home how unfinished these games were. These numbers down here. What the hell are they?
I believe that those numbers are coordinates, you know, for the developers to debug. Basically something that you should never be able to see on the release version. But as you may have gathered by this point, Stella Stone didn't give a shit.
There you go, a legendary racing game. Now all that's left to do is see how high I can get that speedometer while reversing. And you'll get to see how I managed to make this ending different from Angry Video Game Nerd's ending.
Alright. Where am I? Everything's so calm and peaceful. Am I dead?
Welcome, Octavius, to Nirvana.
Oh wow! So reversing to infinite speeds in big rigs is how you get to ultimate enlightenment. I would never have guessed.
Here you may exist in all the beauty and truth that you will find within the inner self and the outer self and the selves of others. Here, no longer will you be harassed by bizarre emails asking for photos of your feet. Here, no longer will you see that at least 10% of the comments in each of your videos refers to your physical appearance. Here, Octavius, you may encounter pure, true enlightenment and absolute peace and serenity.
Awesome. Hey, could I get like a glass of wine or something?
Alcohol has no place in Nirvana, for it is a toxin for the mind.
You don't have wine here? A coffee?
Coffee can also not be found here for the same reason.
What, you don't even have a Starbucks? Everywhere has Starbucks. The moon has a Starbucks.
No, we do not have a Starbucks, but we do have a health smoothie bar.
Oh, my eye faces! A Starbucks? Alright, give me a venti latte, please.